Yes. Welcome back to another edition of Go Long Live. I am your host, Barry Long II, not the first, not the third. I am the second. We are live on today'scalifornia.com. We are live on CoachellaValley.com. We are also live on today'scanada.com. We're all over the Twitterverse, all over the universe, all over the metaverse. Mo Murphy, what's going on, boss?
Yo, what it do, baby?
You missed yesterday, man.
I know, dog. Look, I got crashed at work. It's a short week, right? So, I'm off Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So, with doctor's appointments with physical therapy, bro. Yesterday was like my only day of work. Bro, I had to do everything. I had to do a week's worth in 6-7 hours on top of having a dentist appointment. So, my bad.
Dentist appointment.
Bro, yearly cleaning, check up, everything all good. No,
I thought it was supposed to be a cleaning every 6 months, bro.
Nah, once a year, bro. I'm in the military, bro. Every 6 months, bro. Like, all
ooh. Hey, show him the haircut too.
Go ahead. You know what I'm saying? Doing it from Mo Murphy is here.
Mo Murphy, man. Mo Murphy. That's what's up. We are Go Long Live. I am Barry Long II. He is Mo Murphy, and we are talking sports. That's what we do here on Go Long Live. It is the Thanksgiving holiday right now. It's already begun. Mad people are hanging out with their family. What you got planned for the Thanksgiving holiday, man?
Hey, man, same thing every year, bro. Thanksgiving, watching football, the wife getting down in the kitchen. She already prepping right now. You know what I'm saying?
You're not cooking? You're not cooking?
What's up on me? What's up on me? No.
I fry turkey every Thanksgiving, bro. And oh, my Lord. Fried turkey. You never had fried turkey?
But I haven't done it. Like, I haven't had the fried turkey.
You never tasted fried turkey?
No, bro. I'm not a turkey person. Like, I don't do turkey for Thanksgiving, bro. I'm ham. Like, I do the ham, bro. I don't do turkey, bro. I like ham, bro. I'm team ham.
My man said he liked the swine.
Yeah, bro. I'm team ham, bro. I'm sorry. Like, I love ham, bro.
That's what's up, man. Well, you missed some big news yesterday. Jason Garrett got fired as the offensive coordinator from the New York Giants. I want to get your take on that. What do you think about that? I think he's a scapegoat.
Nah, I think he's a sign of more things to come. I think it's going to trickle down, bro. I think Daniel Jones, he might not be the quarterback of the future. I think it's a scapegoat early, right? But, bro, I don't think Joe Judge makes it after this season. Like, we've seen some problems. We've seen some problems with New York. And I'm going to be honest, bro. Like, this team is better than their record says. Injuries have smacked them. Like, if we want to talk about the real reason why the Giants have been so bad, and you know me, I'm a Cowboys fan, bro. So I love nothing more than to see the Giants fail. But, like, we got to put our fandom cap on and talk about it. Bro, the Giants have been riddled with injuries and COVID, right? So it's a scapegoat. I mean, that offense looked bad against Tampa, and it was just a simple fact, like certain plays. Social media puts pressure on organizations that should never put, because there was that one play that surfaced around on 3rd and 2. It was terrible. Like, what the hell was going on? Yeah, we all was thinking that. But because you see that now, like, the fans start in the New York Giants Twitter page, like, now there's pressure. But I just think they've been riddled with injuries. COVID has smacked their team. Daniel Jones has never had all his weapons. They signed Kenny Golladay, which looks like a bad contract. They've never been able to get, on par with each other, but they never really had time. Like, Kenny Golladay come into the season hurt. Then he plays healthy. Then he gets COVID. Then he gets hurt again. Saquon Barkley's been hurt.
But how many weapons does Daniel Jones need? He got Barkley. He got Slayton. He
hasn't had Barkley, though. Like, Barkley's been hurt. Slayton's been hurt.
They got Tony.
He had a monster game. He missed a couple games after that.
Sterling Shepard.
He's been hurt.
They got Kyle Rudolph.
He's been hurt. He just got hurt.
How many weapons does Daniel? All right, so are you done with Daniel Jones after the season? Because I say he's gone. I say Joe Judge is gone. Dave Gettleman, everybody, they need to clean house.
Now here's the thing.
The offensive line is terrible. Daniel Jones is terrible.
I don't move off of Daniel Jones after this year. No. Because you're going to have possibly 2 top 5, guaranteed 2 top 10 picks, right? Because you're going to have the Giants pick and they're going to have the Chicago Bears pick. So you're going to have 2 top 10 picks. There's not a quarterback coming out today that I love more than Daniel Jones, essentially. Like, and maybe that's saying more to the quarterback class, but I wouldn't use a top 10 pick on a quarterback this year. I think Daniel Jones could suffice if you built the team the right way. You talk about everything else where they're lacking, right? They got Kadarius Toney, who when healthy looks like a wide receiver of the future, a future weapon with Daniel Jones. And they've played well together when he's been on the field. You talk about Kenny Golladay. Bro, he's been hurt. Like, he was fine in Detroit. He was good. He's been hurt. You talk about Saquon Barkley. Is Saquon Barkley the guy that you want to give a fat contract to when he gets hurt every year? then you talk about the defense. Bro, most of their defense is hurt. They lost their best defensive player before the season, and Blake Martinez, like they lost him for the season. So it's we can talk about who's available and what happens, but when you lose or never consistently have a roster, look at Dallas, no Amari Cooper, and then CeeDee Lamb gets hurt. Like look how bad that offense looked, right? That's essentially what Daniel Jones been dealing with all year. Let's just be honest. He's been dealing with his Amari Cooper, Kenny Golladay, and his CeeDee Lamb, Kadarius Toney, or Sterling Shepard. He's been dealing with his receiver being hurt all year. Like, it's not fair to say that, well, Daniel Jones is supposed to be some transcendent talent. Name me a quarterback, not named Tom Brady, that played with subpar to some of the worst weapons and was a great offense. You won't name one.
There are some out there. I'm not gonna sit here and try to come up with something because we only got 30 minutes, but there are some.
There's not one. Outside of Tom Brady, who made his weapons great, Peyton Manning had Marvin Harrison and Reggie Wayne most of his career in Indy. And then
Lamar Jackson. Those aren't great weapons.
And Lamar Jackson has done what? Like, he hasn't won anything. Like, he's a great quarterback, don't get me wrong, but he hasn't won anything.
Okay.
Like, what's the expectation? The Ravens also have a really good roster. Injuries have smacked them, and but like, until Lamar Jackson really wins something, then it'll go to my point. Like, Lamar needs more, right? That's why they went and drafted. The receiver out of Minnesota. I just shot a blank and forgot his name, but that's why they went and drafted him. You know, that's why they went and got Hollywood Brown. They got 2 first-round wide receivers because they know Lamar can't do it by himself. That's why they got an all-pro tight end in Mark Andrews. So they knew he couldn't do it by himself, and then they get a running back who's going to complement him the best, used to the system and run-pass option. J.K. Dobbins literally comes from the exact type of offense that they run at Ohio State. So, like, they went and got him weapons. His weapons are hurt. They're a good team.
And he's 7-3.
But Baltimore is overall a better roster right now. Like, even injured, he still has had Hollywood Brown. He still has had Mark Andrews. The receiver from Minnesota. Why do
Bateman.
Bateman. He finally came back, right? And he looks good. Their defense, they lost Marcus Peters and they still had, a top tight end top corner in Marlon Humphrey. They still have a viable defense, and he has a better coach. So even after all those injuries, take away Hollywood Brown, Rashad Bateman, on top of Dobbins, on top of that offensive lineman you lost, take away Mark Andrews while you at it, and then you tell me how good Lamar Jackson and the Ravens would be. Now Daniel Jones is no Lamar Jackson either.
Daniel Jones is no Mac Jones. Daniel Jones is boo-boo. It's time. Look, when he was drafted, Dave Gettleman said, give me 3 years. In 3 years, watch. And it's been 3 years, and this dude is still subpar. His first year in the league, he led the league in fumble, average or percentage or whatever. And he's continued to struggle. We have not seen Daniel Jones be great or be even good consistently.
But listen to the answer. Here's my thing, and I get it, but listen to the answer of trying to improve Daniel Jones. They hired Jason Garrett as the offensive coordinator. Let's just be honest. They hired Jason. He is not a great offensive play caller.
Not a great offensive play caller, but a great head coach, a great leader of men.
He was not a great head coach. He was terrible.
Not in Dallas. Nope. Look, yesterday, let me speak. Yesterday's show, I spoke about how Jason Garrett had a bad rap because it is difficult to be the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. Mike McCarthy was respected when he was in Green Bay, but when he's in Dallas, people act like he don't know what the hell he's doing. You had Wade Phillips. He looked like he didn't know what the hell he was doing. Even Bill Parcells, when he was the head coach of Dallas Cowboys, he didn't fit the bill. He didn't look the part because that is a difficult job to have.
Because there's standard.
So Jason Garrett got a bad rap in Dallas.
They weren't winning like that. It's not like the Cowboys had plenty of winning seasons. It's not because you said great.
13-3 was their best season.
Really good season.
He got fired after 8-8 season because Jerry Jones doesn't want mediocrity.
8-8. We had went 4-12. We had went 5-11. Listen, I went.
You have.
That's all I'm saying. You said great. Like, he wasn't a great head coach.
He wasn't a great head coach.
And he definitely wasn't an offensive mind. So if you find him as he was a really good head coach, if you want to classify him as that, he wasn't an offensive mind. He didn't have a great offense until he had a really good offensive coordinator. So therefore, you brought Jason Garrett to do what? Like, give you the inside scoop on what goes on in Dallas Cowboys locker room?
That's what I believe. That's what I believe.
To make Daniel Jones better. Like, that's not the guy that's going to improve anybody. Kellen Moore made Dak more effective as a quarterback because of his great offensive play calling, right? He's hiding the mistakes that Mike McCarthy's making because of his great offensive play calling. Have we had some bad games? Yes, everybody does. But like, it wasn't Jason Garrett. Like, Dak was not Jason Garrett. It had nothing. Dak's success had nothing to do with Jason Garrett. Yes, but I do agree with you. It's kind of a scapegoat. But when you look at the Giants, when healthy, if they were a fully healthy team, and we can say this about a lot of teams, but if they have a good roster. And then at that point, that's when you evaluate, you be like, is Daniel Jones holding them back? But until he's gotten better than he was his rookie year, because he was a fumble machine. Like, you touch him and he drops the ball. I give you that. So he's gotten better at that, less turnovers, showed you his explosiveness. He's actually one of the fastest quarterbacks in the league, but he's never had a full roster. Like, so it's to me not fair, but that's the business of the NFL, right? Like, we're going to use Jason Garrett and Daniel Jones as a scapegoat. We're going to have 2 top 10 picks. We're going to go pick the wrong quarterback. You're going to be right back in the same situation and have really good weapons, a decent defense, figure out the offensive coordinator, and you're still going to have a bad quarterback. And then what? Everybody, it's going to be Mitch Trubisky. Everybody going to be looking. Was it Daniel Jones or was it the New York front office and everybody else, bro? That's all I'm saying.
And I'll give you, Daniel Jones has not had he's not had the full stable of horses that he has, on the roster. He has not had everybody healthy, but also the offensive line is terrible. It's garbage. It's absolutely ridiculous. They split the pig on Hernandez. He kept getting holding call after holding call this past Monday. But ultimately, we saw what Pat Mahomes looked like without a good O-line in the Super Bowl against the Bucs. He was running for his life. So every quarterback deserves a great offensive line, or at least a decent offensive line. But Daniel Jones, even with a good O-line, I'm convinced that he's not the guy.
But because we haven't seen him with a good O-line. You haven't even seen him with
we haven't even seen him in college because he barely played.
You haven't seen him with a healthy roster. So it's fair to assume, one would assume that we put all the blame on the quarterback, but when you're missing 5 weapons at one time, you're playing with practice squad wide receivers, 3rd string running backs, a terrible offensive line, and you don't have your starting tight end. Like, it's tough to say, what are you going to do offensively? Essentially, like, that's a tough ask for any quarterback. I'm not saying Daniel Jones has the potential to be great, but he can be a starting quarterback. You can't ask, Daniel Jones is not on Lamar Jackson level, so you can't ask Daniel Jones to be Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson is a top 5 to 7 quarterback. Like, that's not a fair comparison.
So where would you put Daniel Jones? Rank him in the NFL right now. Quarterbacks right now. Rank him.
Bro, he's probably like 20 to 23.
He's probably like 27.
Nah, he's probably about 20 to 23. There's quarterbacks worse than Daniel Jones, bro.
Okay.
Like,
off the air, we will talk about this.
Yeah, we'll talk
about
that.
And then I will have you name 19 to 20 quarterbacks that
I just got to name 12. I said 20 to 23. So I got to name 9 to 12 starting quarterbacks right now worse than Daniel Jones. I'll be able to do that.
Okay. We'll see on the phone. This is Go Long Live. We are the host of Go Long Live. I am Barry Long II. This is Mo Murphy. Mo Murphy, so good to see you today, man. I was missing you yesterday, man. Missing you. Yeah. But yeah, so we see that Jason Garrett got fired as the offensive coordinator for the New York Giants. And I kind of compared it to when you make a mistake at work, you get in trouble, and with your homeboy at work, like with your best friend at work, and he gets fired, and then you're sitting at your cubicle and you're just waiting for them to come and tell you to pack your stuff up. That's what Joe Judge is doing right now. Joe Judge is 10 years up. And you know what? The jury is out there. The verdict is out there. It remains to be seen whether or not he can be a great head coach. But this stint ain't working. And Dan Campbell is in the same boat. And it just so happens that they play this Thursday. And Dan Campbell, who has no wins, I'm saying this is my bold prediction. Are you ready for this, Mo?
Go. Go.
Jason Garrett will be hired as the next head coach of the Detroit Lions.
What?
That's for next year. That's
not fair.
Book it now.
I'm telling you
Dan Campbell is gone. He's gone.
That, bro. You got to stop that with Detroit, because you keep killing Dan Campbell. But every time I ask you what he was supposed to do, you say,
my man is not qualified. I mean, it's just not a good fit.
What? Lead Jared Goff in the Bad News Bears to a 9-8 record now? Like, bro, that we knew that was the worst team in the NFL. Them and no Deshaun Watson on the Houston Texans.
The worst team in the NFL with the worst head coach in the NFL, Dan Campbell.
But is he really, like, he hasn't had a decent roster, a decent chance at proving that he's good at anything.
He didn't even have a decent press conference when he got hired. It's like the Adam Gase situation.
You read so much into press conferences. Who cares? Like, Nick Sirianni has bad press conferences, and Philly's decent.
Okay, but if you stand in front of the podium, in front of the media, and you cannot convince the media that you are a leader of men, then how dare we think that he can stand in front of 52 men and convince them that he's a great head coach?
You know what the difference is?
What's the difference?
At the end of the day, our opinions don't matter. You don't have to convince
I like to think they do, Mo Murphy.
But they don't. Like, we do this because people care about our opinions, right? But like, our opinions to the head coach means nothing. Like the media opinions really mean nothing. Like you don't have to, if you got, because who's to say that the 53 men in his roster, you've seen them play well. Like for a good first half, they played close games. They played hard. So like Detroit
lost close games.
But okay, but that's not his fault. Like he got outmatched by better teams. Literally every team in the NFL has a better roster than the Detroit Lions. They started off the season by losing their best corner in Jeff Okudah, right? They got Jared Goff. He's absolutely horrible, and he's throwing to who? I'm going to keep saying it. You expect him to do something throwing to Quintez Cephas. Okay.
Shout out to Quintez.
At least like when Matt Stafford was there, first off, Matt Stafford was a good quarterback. Second off, he was throwing even last year to Kenny Golladay, Marvin Jones. Like he wasn't throwing to a bunch of nobodies who had to find their way into the NFL. So that's my only thing is when you look at Detroit, bro, you look at Dan Campbell, it's just not fair to say give him a year and then what? Let him have an opportunity now to draft his quarterback. Since everybody's out on Jared Goff.
Dan Campbell ain't drafted no quarterback. He's not.
Know that though. It's more than just the head coach. The head coach takes all the heat, but you have a scouting department. You have an offensive coordinator. You have a defensive coordinator. You don't know what we don't know. Like we seen him get the job and draft right away. He never had real preparation. He never had a season to say, damn, this is what we really need. He's basically looking at names on the roster at positions of the depth chart and be like, from what I've seen, he's not that good. But he never had real time to evaluate the Detroit Lions roster and pick a direction that he wants to go. Like you come in, you do a draft, and then like now all of a sudden you have to pick a direction on the worst roster in the NFL. Literally.
Well, a lot of the determination of whether you're a great head coach or not, or even a good head coach, is when you're in a tight position, you have to make a decision. Dan Campbell called a fake punt and a fake field goal in the same half. That's something you don't even do in the same half of the season.
Detroit, like you have nothing to lose. You keep losing. Like at the end of the day, you have nothing to lose. You keep losing. So they almost beat the Browns. They tie the Steelers. These are playoff teams. They hung for the first 2.5 quarters with the Green Bay Packers. They almost beat the Ravens. Like these are playoff teams, Super Bowl contending teams that you're giving them credit, but then you don't give them no credit for losing. But if a good team throws a dud, you'll be like, well, they're still a really good team. So the worst team in the NFL playing it close to Baltimore, the whole AFC North, basically.
Yeah.
That's in the Green Bay Packers for 2.5 quarters. Did they end up pulling away? Yes, because it's Green Bay. It's Aaron Rodgers. Like you ain't.
And they made great halftime adjustments.
You don't have you have no answer for that. But let's think about it. We're talking about a team that if it wasn't for Justin Tucker and his 66-yard field goal, they beat the Baltimore Ravens. Like
66 yards.
We're talking about a team that held the Cleveland Browns offense to 13 points and lost 13-10. We're talking about a team that tied.
That's not saying much about the Browns, though.
But we're talking about a team that tied the Pittsburgh. These are playoff teams, though. That's all I'm saying is these are playoff teams, contending teams. You Ravens are a top 3 contender in the AFC right now, correct?
Yes. In a terrible AFC.
The Pittsburgh Steelers are in the playoffs right now, right? They're a playoff team. Correct. The Browns are like right on the outside looking in as a playoff team right now. So they've held it close. That you got to give him some type of credit. He's came in close to games he was supposed to get blown out. Baltimore was supposed to beat Detroit. The spread was probably like 13, guaranteed. I don't remember what it was, but it was probably like 13 points. And it took a 66-yard field goal. Like, it's not fair to Dan. If he gets fired, I think that's BS by Detroit, to be honest.
Well, Detroit has had a number of coaches fired, and I expect Dan Campbell to be fired.
But then Jason Garrett gonna come in there and do the same thing, bro. Ain't nobody winning with their roster.
All right. So we're going to get – I have a bold prediction for the Lions, too, coming up here later in the show, but we're going to get to that. But there's another coach that has the whole aura, the whole halo of being fired over top of his head. That's Matt Nagy. Matt Nagy reportedly was told by the Bears that Friday after the Thanksgiving game, he will be fired. And they are playing who?
The Lions.
The Lions. We might see 2 coaches get fired on Friday. But that's just a joke. But seriously, so Matt Nagy was at his son's high school football game where his son plays, and he was sitting in the stands, and some young kids, that millennial generation, they were out there and they were chanting "Fire Matt Nagy," and reportedly he absolutely heard it, and I mean that's the sentiment around Chicago. That's the sentiment around Bears fans around the nation. Do you think Matt Nagy deserves to be fired based on his performance? Because he's not that terrible, but I feel like he got a lot of clout because of his time with Kansas City as the offensive coordinator. And it's only a year, But people gave him credibility because of that. And I think that this guy might fit that bill like Josh McDaniels, like Todd Bowles, that you're just a coordinator. You're not a head coach in this league. What do you think about Matt Nagy?
So should he be fired? Yeah. Like, I mean, if you want to, but the way they went about it, that's crap. Like, bro, I don't believe in telling a coach you're going to be fired before the game. Like,
and he's denied these reports. He said that they didn't say it, and then there's other people coming out of Chicago that said that they didn't say that. But there's a lot of reports from the media.
Fake report that come out, like, and if that did happen, that's such crap, bro. Because, like, you know, this man is coming off a Sunday loss, close loss, but whatever. But coming off a Sunday loss and like preparing to turn right back around and play on Thursday. And there's reports out there saying like they're gonna fire him on Friday, bro. That's crap. Like, should he be fired? Yeah. But like, if you really were adamant in firing him during the season, you should have fired him the first Justin Fields start when he set Justin Fields up for murder. Like,
yeah, he got sacked, 9 times?
Bro, and it was a terrible gameplay. It looked horrible. Everybody was out on Matt Nagy since then. But you should have fired him then. Like, it would have been so justifiable. Everybody. But now, like, okay, let him play out the season, bro. Like, Justin Fields, he gave up the offensive play calling. Justin Fields, it was progressing. He got hurt. Obviously, you know, he did just get hurt. But he was progressing. You're seeing some flashes. You're seeing the improvement there. Obviously, nobody's necessarily cares because they're all on Mac Jones as a rookie quarterback, but like, you're seeing the potential of Justin Fields. If Chicago can figure out everything else around them, they have them one, right? Like, they need a better offensive line. They need some better weapons. Allen Robinson, I don't even think he wants to be there. He got franchise tagged. I think he don't want to be there, which is why he's had poor production, because Darnell Mooney has like very good, you know, rap sheet with Justin Fields, but Darnell Mooney, I think, wants to be there. Allen Robinson is a better wide receiver. How they have it figured out, I just think he just don't want to be there. He was trying to get through this season with Chicago and leave. There was even a possibility of him getting traded at the trade deadline, but still, like, Matt Nagy, bro, he's ran his course. Like, we've seen how he tried to murder Justin Fields, and then everybody started apologizing to Mitch Trubisky. Like,
yeah, but let's take it back to that, because he's
starting quarterback next year because of the failure of Matt Nagy. Everybody's buying in.
Yes,
Trubisky, the Mitch Trubisky haters are apologizing. The people are like, damn, maybe he wasn't as bad as we thought. He just was in a bad situation by a bad coach. He had that one good year where they went to the playoffs, and then the Foles magic or whatever. But bro, like, I
had to apologize to Mitch Trubisky. I was calling him Mitch Trubisky because they missed on that one.
But that's what I'm saying. And like, did they really miss, or is it he was just in a bad situation, which is what happens to a lot of quarterbacks, and they careers fade. That's what happens. A lot of good quarterbacks end up going to bad situations, right? That's why they're number one, number 3 draft picks. But you don't get a chance because, well, you flunked here. You're not going to succeed anywhere else. Even be a successor behind a really great quarterback who's at the end of his career. Like, that's not even always an option necessarily, but because you hold yourself to a higher standard than that, and you feel like you should be a starting quarterback. But, you know, bro, the telling like you're going to be fired without like it being a mutual agreement, especially like, hey, we're letting you go Friday, bro. Like, at that point, like,
after the game,
I'm like, bro, hey, y'all go out there and draw up your own plays, bro. Like,
that's probably his attitude. But look, so here's my bold prediction though, Mo, for tomorrow. I think that the Detroit Lions will get their very first win. Dan Campbell will get his first win over the Andy Dalton ran Chicago Bears. Dan Campbell will get his only win as a head coach, and Matt Nagy will be fired on Friday, and Dan Campbell will keep his job until the end of the season. That's my bold prediction.
I'm not sure Matt Nagy gets fired on Friday now, because think about it.
If they lose to the Lions,
I'm
gone.
I'm with you. I'm with you. Like, I follow you. But because let's just say those reports are fake, they can't fire him on Friday. If those reports aren't real, they can't fire Matt Nagy on Friday. Like, they can't do that.
If you own an NFL franchise, you can do whatever the hell you want.
You can do what you want. But listen, as an NFL franchise, as an NFL organization, they also, part of being an organization, part of being a front office or whatever.
Jerry Jones could urinate in public right now, and nobody would care because he's the
not everybody's Jerry Jones, and not everybody's the owner of the Dallas
Robert Kraft.
Not everybody's a New England Patriot where winning is the way, and has Bill Belichick as a head coach, but it's a little bit different because you want to attract free agents. You want people to be within the organization. You want your current players to stay. What built trust, right? So if they're coming out saying that we never said that, the front office speaks, Matt Nagy speaks, who cares if Matt Nagy says that never happened? He could deny it all day. That's irrelevant. But if they're coming out saying, yeah, we never had that conversation, therefore means like essentially you're like, we never said that. So now, like, if you do fire him on Friday, you look like you said that. And you don't want that rap because I'm not the only one in the United States of America that thinks that that's a bad way to run business. Like, that's like, bro,
it's international too.
Bro, think about it. That's like somebody coming up to you right now and be like, hey, go long live. The last episode going to be Friday, but keep grinding until Friday. Bro, like,
I would keep grinding though. You know me. I would keep grinding.
That might be one of those like, bro, how am I even supposed to have the same enthusiasm knowing that today's California kicking us off come Friday because we stink or our opinion, they think we stink. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
could you use a better example? Could you use a less like deeper example that
I want you to feel it the same way that Matt Nagy would feel it. Like, that's what I'm saying, bro. Like,
shout out to Today's California, it's CoachellaValley.com. Shout out to Craig Campbell. Shout out to Today's Canada. And shout out to Sage Alvarez, who's out there promoting the show. He's pushing the show. We love you, man, for the distribution. All right. So we'll discuss this more tomorrow because we'll be talking Thanksgiving games. But we got some games coming up for tomorrow. We got the Bears and the Lions. And I just want to get your picks on these games. We got the Raiders, the Cowboys, and we got the Bills and the Saints. Now, who are you picking between the Bears and the Lions, Mo Murphy?
Hey, Justin Fields, is he out?
Justin Fields is out, reportedly. Still. The Rams.
I'm still taking Chicago, bro.
You still taking Chicago and Andy Dalton?
I'm taking Chicago.
Now, Jared Goff may or may not start. We haven't got the official injury report, but if Jared Goff starts, I'm definitely taking the Lions on this game. I know that the Bears have a good defense, but I just feel like this is.
You're so out on Detroit and Dan Campbell's head coach.
No, I think that this is their only win.
See, y'all be contradicting yourselves when y'all be hating on the Lions. Like, oh, it's all on Dan Campbell.
They're the Lions.
Goff hasn't won a game as a starter either, but you gonna rock with him? Crazy.
9-1, bro. Look at that record. 9-1.
Andy Dalton beat the Bengals earlier this year. I'm just throwing that out there.
Okay.
Andy Dalton and the Bears beat the Bengals earlier this year. I'm just throwing that.
Okay, so you got the Bears. I got the Lions. All right, the next game is going to be the Raiders and Cowboys, and I already know who you're going to pick. You're going to pick your Cowboys, and the Cowboys didn't look that good against the Chiefs. And I was, I defended the Cowboys because you had all those injuries, and that's just a tough game to play in the middle of the season. But I think the Cowboys will bounce back with a big victory over the Raiders. What do you say?
The Cowboys bounce back. I'm waiting to see this injury report. I mean, I think we win regardless. But Zeke might be banged up. He might be limited. We don't know yet if CeeDee Lamb is playing. So I'm waiting to see. But to me, that's no excuse to play against a team with the Raiders, who I think could be good, but they're on the downside. Second half of the season, they're falling. We're still here. Like, we're still at the top of the league right now. But for now, anyway, we haven't collapsed yet. But even with all the injuries, like, they're falling, through the wasteland. So, I definitely think we should win. I don't know about easy, though. It's Thanksgiving. It's a short game. We just got embarrassed, so we're going to have some motivation. But at the same time, like, it is a short week. Crazier things have happened on Thursday night this year.
And it is a home game. We'll say that. And let's just get the meme of the day out of the way because we're talking about the Raiders. Derek Carr's looking more and more like Marv from the Sticky Bandits with every loss. Y'all remember that dude from Home Alone? One of the greatest movies of all time.
He did not look that, bro. He looked young and healthy in the beginning of the season, bro. All that crap around the organization.
Yeah. Henry Ruggs, John Gruden.
Bro, all that crap around the organization, bro.
This is what they say about presidents. Like, when Obama became the president, he looked older, like, immediately, like 3 months after he was inaugurated. And the same thing with Joe Biden. He's looking a little older. Donald Trump, too. Have you seen Kamala Harris lately? She looks like she is stressed the hell out. That's what being in a tough situation and being the leader of a tough situation will do to you. But, yeah, you're right. Derek Carr does look older and older by the day. All right, we got one more game to preview for tomorrow. Bills versus Saints. We've seen the Bills struggle the last – like 2 out of the last 3 games. They've looked terrible. They look like top AFC contenders. They're starting to lose that division. They're slipping away to the New England Patriots. They're playing against the quarterbackless Saints because the quarterback is Trevor Siemian and the backup is your boy. But we'll see. We'll see what they do. Taysom Hill, I think that he's probably a better option at this point than Trevor Siemian. But just because his familiarity with the offense and just being him, but he's not a better thrower of the football. But I think the Saints, the only way they stay in this game is by their defense. And I think that their defense is it's Thanksgiving in the Bayou. I like the Bills to come out with a statement win on Thanksgiving Day, and I like them to win big, like a blowout win. What do you say, Mo Murphy?
You know what? Just so we can have a chance, you could brag towards me or I could brag towards you. I'm gonna go opposite. I'm taking the Saints
Taking the Saints?
because you know what? We agree.
Okay,
We agree
yeah.
on the Cowboys game. We're split on the Lions and Bears game. So to make the show fun and some entertainment and see who's right, I'm gonna take the Saints, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because the Bills' offense have been struggling. The one thing, they might not have a quarterback, but the Saints do have a defense. It is a Thursday night game. We have seen crazier things on Thursday night, odd matchups that shouldn't happen, games that are played that shouldn't end the way they end, and they have. So I'm gonna take the Saints. I'm not confident in that pick, but I'll take the Saints. And if the Bills do blow them out or barely win or whatever, I hang it on my head that I was wrong. I'm not confident in it, but I'm gonna go against you so that one of us can have a winning record.
Oh, I'm gonna bang my chest right before I fry my turkey tomorrow. Hey, look, the Saints. If the Saints are prepared, then they might win.
Give overall shape to the way this played out, Jameis.
Well, I just think we were prepared. You know, one thing my trainer, he told me, he said, what did he say? He just told us to be prepared.
He just told us to be prepared.
That is like
that's my favorite clip. Yeah, I mean, I love me some Jameis Winston, but that is my favorite clip. And look, yesterday I talked about this. Every time you see Todd Bowles, because I was discussing how some guys are just coordinators, like Josh McDaniels. Todd Bowles is a great defensive coordinator, but he is not a head coach. But every time the camera flashes on Todd Bowles on the sideline, doesn't he always look like somebody just pooed it or he got to go to the bathroom? So and look, you go through Google Images, his face is like that every single image. So I think we should call him Todd Bowles. Let me have our fun, Mo Murphy. All right, man. Tell them where they can find you at, Mo.
Yeah, you can find me at Mo_Cheese15 on Twitter, Instagram, at Up in Flames Pod on Twitter, Instagram. You know, got some projects in the work. Got a big show tonight with my guy over there on Cruise Island. We go discuss some college football in the playoffs and the Final Four and the Group of Five and, you know, what the playoff expansion could look like. So we're going to get into it. It's going to get heated because I'm on one side of the argument, a couple people on the other side of the argument. So it's going to be heated. It's going to be fun. So make sure you check that out. It'll be at 9:30 p.m. Eastern, 6:30 p.m. Pacific for everybody over there on the West Coast.
For sure, man. And y'all can find me on Twitter at Radio Barry Long. Y'all can find me on IG at BarryLong_2 and Facebook at Barry Long _II. All right, y'all. I know y'all going to be cooking or at least prepping some food tonight. Make sure y'all make some deviled eggs for tomorrow. We will be on tomorrow. We'll have a fun show tomorrow because I'm sure that there will be some adult beverages going around. But yeah, y'all stay focused, stay motivated, stay inspired. What would you say, Mo?
Be fried. Okay.
Fried like my turkey.
Fried.
Y'all stay focused, stay motivated, stay inspired, and holler at us tomorrow. Make sure y'all tap in because we will be talking about the Thanksgiving games. Peace.